Well, we're going.
Whoa. The numbers are hard, man. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Apex Formula One podcast. We got another great show for you guys today. We are riding high after this weekend's amazing race in Daytona. I think we were all super stoked on how that went, especially since we didn't miss out much in the overnight hours. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But in the Formula One side of things, we've got plenty of liveries to talk about and some news on the shakedown from Spain going on. So we've got a little bit of Formula One ramping up. We're real excited. I'm
We
joined
caught
here
Paul
by
right
my
in the middle of
co-hosts
him taking a
Paul and
recording
Meredith. Why don't
picture.
y'all say hi?
And now he's
I know,
like,
perfect.
pose.
It was timed out perfectly.
Hi, everybody. I'm Paul. Since clearly Meredith isn't doing it, I'm doing it. How are you, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great time. Motorsport's ramping up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. IndyCar's ramping up. They've started their media tour at Indianapolis this week too, so that's been a lot of fun to be a part of. Not be a part of, but just start to
I feel like
listen to the interviews and
this
wonder what's
week
going
and
to
next
happen.
week are like
So,
the
yeah.
weeks like leading up to Christmas for a kid. It's in sight. It's almost there. They're all excited about it, and that's how I feel. It's like we had Rolex 24, which was amazing, but then like Paul said, we've got so much media activity going on. You know, we've got all the F1 and team coverage from Shakedown Week in Barcelona. We had livery reveals, NASCAR's popping off too with all the stuff. So it's just a really exciting time of year because even though it's off season for most of the racing series we watch, everybody's gearing back up. It's like everybody's back from their winter break. So I've just been super excited. And especially with the weather that hit us all, like even down here in Houston, it was icy and cold. And with me being so sick with the flu, it was like there was nothing else for me to do besides be glued to my phone for like updates and stuff. So just a very exciting time of year.
Yeah, definitely this weekend could not have hit at a better time. I know I was fortunate enough to be snowed in and not have to go to work, so I got to sit and watch the entirety of the Rolex 24. And I gave up at one point to try to go to bed, and during the full course yellow, and I woke up and we were still on full course yellow, so I'd missed no racing laps. So that's an achievement I will probably never make that happen again. That was a neat experience. And honestly, it's the first Rolex 24 I've really paid attention to. So what a great introduction into IMSA and to the Rolex itself. So that was really neat for those of us that got to enjoy the entire weekend. And then, like Meredith said, we got so much anticipation building. It's just every category, news is dropping, liveries are dropping, driver swaps are happening. We're getting plenty of social media updates daily. So it's really fun just to see everything kind of coming together, especially with a Formula One season that's what's setting up to be quite interesting. I'm really interested to see how the rest of this week finishes up with Spain going on. I'm also interested to see what happens in the beginning of February. We've got a couple more liveries coming out, and the
With
Super
the
Bowl Sunday is
Hawks
going to be a
going
big
to the
one.
Super Bowl.
I'm
Joe's
just
like,
curious to see
Joe's so
what we've
excited
got
about
coming
his
on Formula One
Seattle
wise. So
Seahawks being in.
yeah,
Yeah, I looked to try to
I'm
see.
sure
Like, I was like, okay,
Joe's
if
like
tickets are
stoked.
like, if I can find tickets for like under $3,000, like I'm gonna send him. He should go, right? Like, I was like, it is unheard of that 3 times in our relationship the Seahawks have made it to the Super Bowl. So I was all excited for that. But he is pumped for the Seahawks. I'm pumped for the Cadillac livery reveal at the Super Bowl. Just the timing of it, the marketing of it is so genius.
Right?
I know they like showed nuggets this week, and I know we were texting about some of those outfits, like the Tommy merch for Caddy, and how it looks almost identical to the Mercedes merch. But what they didn't announce was the Nike partnership, but they're all in the dunks. And so my thought is they're saving the announcement for that partnership for the livery launch, because my guess is that with Nike making a roaring back into sponsoring after being gone off the grid for 20 plus years, my thought is that there is going to be Nike something on that Cadillac livery. I'm hoping it's delivered in a more effective and favorable way than HP's transition into Ferrari. I'm more excited for the Cadillac reveal than I am the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat with you there. I saw the news that Cadillac had kind of officially said that they were announcing their livery on Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm not a big NFL guy, so that immediately piqued my interest, and well, I guess I'm going to watch it now. So really neat that they're doing that. It's going to reach like such a broad audience. That's the most viewed sporting event outside of a World Cup. So what a great opportunity to announce
Is
the
it a
brand.
commercial?
I just don't know when they're going to do
Just
it.
an F1 car suspending down from the Niners stadium.
I'm sure it's a commercial.
Because
Be crazy. Oh, that'd be perfect.
Because I just don't seem to understand because you can't take away from the Super Bowl, right? So it's gonna have to be a quick couple minute thing. Is it just gonna be like, hey, here's the car, great, now back to the Super Bowl? Like I'm confused on what's gonna happen. Like I
So
understand that you want to bring eyes into it, and it's
Millions of
millions of people that are gonna
American
watch
fans.
on
Like,
Sunday,
yes,
but
it's watched globally, but let's
are we
think
just
about the
gonna
audience base. They're
30
trying to
seconds and we're
rally the American audience base to be
no,
like,
it's
no, we're
yeah,
the American team, even though Haas has been for years. I think this is a marketing genius ploy because we're talking about it. We don't know. Like, there's so many
they don't
questions
count.
around it that's why I think there's so much genius behind it because we have no idea what to expect. And that's the exciting thing.
if I may be a little critical, I think Cadillac's kind of dropped the ball on all this
Yeah.
because I feel like, and we've talked about it, they should have done something for the Vegas race. They should have been doing more to bring eyes to what an American team
Yeah.
is. And I feel like they really haven't.
Well, I think we got to give them the opportunity at Super Bowl Sunday. If they crush it and knock it out of the park, then we'll have a different conversation. But if they flub it and it's like a lame two, just one 30-second commercial, and it's just kind of like, okay, here's the car, then that's a missed opportunity. I would agree with you, but I'm excited to see what they do. I'm hoping it'll be fun and exciting. I'm kind of hoping for like a several 30-second ad space kind of deal where they tease it in the first half and then by halftime they drop the whole thing and kind of build some anticipation around it. I'm hoping it's not just a one and done kind of thing. We've seen similar deals before with other events
Yeah.
and
Like
things that
it
are teased
builds.
during the Super Bowl where it's several ad slots that are taken up by the announcement. So I'm hoping for something similar. Right.
Maybe I'm just
You
glass half
really
empty kind of
are.
You're
guy
We
in
being
this
need
real
to
one,
get
but
negative for
that
a
in
guy who's
check,
wanting to
Paul.
support Cadillac here.
listen, I want to support them as
Yeah.
This is like hype, man. We're excited.
I want to support them just as much as you two do. Being an American team, Checo is in it, but you have to admit they've dropped the ball when it comes to the
Yeah.
PR game up until now. And I'm confused on what's going to happen on Sunday. I'm optimistic that it'll be cool, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'm be patiently waiting to see what happens on Sunday night, but I'm also gonna
I
admit that I have a feeling they're gonna drop the ball. And this merch better be different. I am tired.
y'all,
I
This
think that's
that
merch
it.
is
is
the
I think this
biggest
this
is the
merch
merch.
is
blunder.
Mercedes merch from a
That
couple
is
years ago,
like
and this is
Yeah,
dumb.
it's pretty
I am
bad.
shocked.
If
Yeah,
this is
that's
what we're gonna
worse.
come out with,
Y'all know me. Like
no,
I love
this is
Tommy.
dumb.
It's
Like
just
I
rebranded
love
Merc.
Tommy. I've been
It's
stocking up
bad.
on my Tommy. Like the amount of vintage Tommy I've been collecting just in anticipation because their Mercedes merch was so good and clean and classic. So for them to come out rocking like almost identical, like it's like they just like took off an iron-on patch, ripped it off and put a new one on. Like I'm still optimistic that maybe there's going to be some more stuff in the works, but that to me is the bigger blunder than the media campaign PR stuff. Like that is a what? Yet in what world did that pass multiple thresholds of feedback where they're like, yeah, let's go with it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't get me
I was
wrong.
really
Like you said,
disappointed when I saw it.
But it's
yeah,
Mercedes.
don't get me wrong. It's clean. It's nice. I like it. But we've
Yeah.
seen it. It's literally
Mercedes. It's just
copy and paste.
Yes.
like Meredith said. It looked like they had some old blanks and they just threw the new sponsorships
Well,
on and they
if
called
there's
it a day.
anything
Yeah,
that
I
I
was
do
disappointed by
have
that.
hope on from what we've seen from Cadillac so
Pretty
far,
bummed.
that testing livery is sick. I love it. I think it's just that silver back edge with the Cadillac logo. I really do like that. So if that is hope and indication of a sick livery for like the actual season, I also love how Josh's face is frozen right now. You're back.
I
I
noticed
know. I
that.
was
That
like,
is
am I
Like
back?
hysterical.
Am I
I
back here
love
now? I was like, ooh,
the
this is not good.
Cadillac logo on it. So
We're back. We're
if
back.
if their livery for the actual season is badass like that one is, I will be pumped.
I think
Yeah, I was just
the
talking to my brother about that too, because he said he liked that livery, and I'm
Oh,
like,
and they're gonna have to
I
bring in
got a
all the
feeling it's
sponsors
not
because
gonna
it's
be
not like
that.
they can
They're
just
gonna have to do
slap
something
sponsor
different.
stickers on the front of that car and then be like, here's the big livery reveal in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl that you already saw everything, and then we just put the logos on here. No. So I do think it'll be different, but I think it'll be cool. Josh, now I'm on to your theory. I'm with you. I think they're gonna do a multi-part ad space where it like the excitement builds on it. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's where my heart lies is with that. It's the only way to do it big. If they don't do it big like that, I think they've missed the opportunity. But on topic of testing liveries, Clarence is super sharp. I just wanted to. I know Meredith. I'm sure
I
you're
love
super
it.
stoked on that one.
If
But
I could
I
make a
thought that was
ploy
one
right
that
now,
was really good,
Lego,
really good.
make a model of the McLaren car in this testing livery
Any
in the all
accidents
black.
outside?
Like,
Ooh,
I would
yeah,
be so
What?
geeked to have that
yeah.
all black testing livery next to this one. I love it. I love it. Also, for Google Chrome, that was the best
Yeah,
livery
it
I could
looks
have
so clean.
imagined for their advertising to pop out because, like, the primary color, like, popping against that black was the first thing I noticed when I saw the car was Google Chrome's logo. I was like, "Oh, great PR for
Mhm.
Google there." I think it's amazing. What about other liveries that have come out in the last week? Let's see. Last week we had, let me pull up the full list. We had, yeah, Audi, Haas, Alpine,
Yeah,
Ferrari,
I was
Aston
just googling
Martin,
pictures to
Have we talked about Audi, right? We did
Mercedes.
talk about that one.
we haven't talked about
Yeah, let's
Audi,
talk about
like,
it.
recorded. We talked
Yeah,
about it in the
let's go
group chat
alphabetical.
and how
Let's just go
how
down
they
the
dropped the
list.
ball on that.
Okay.
The
So let's
Audi
start
one,
with
they
Audi.
dropped the ball on that one too.
Terrible.
Okay, we'll start with
Yeah, let's go
Alpine.
alphabetical. I'm gonna have to
Let's
look up
start
the alphabet to make sure
let's
I'm
start
right, but
Alpine. We'll go
that's fine. We can do
alphabetical.
that.
Let's start Alpine.
I like the
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I think the
same
blue
as
is.
last
I
year.
think I've
Next,
noticed that the blue is
I
slightly
agree.
different
Pretty much the same.
because it almost seems like there's a little bit more contrast to it. But it's like same as last year. Let's just hope the car's not a shitbox. Okay, let's go Audi. Yeah,
If
exactly.
you have to
Yeah,
if you
but
have to look
honestly,
that
I'd rather
hard,
them not spend a ton of money on a new livery. I'd rather them spend money on engineering and the actual like car
what were you saying,
mechanics for
Josh?
their drivers. Like let's spend money where it matters there.
I will say Franco had an interview this week and he was saying how he seemed a lot happier with the car. He said the car seemed stronger, a lot more horsepower than last year. So he seemed more
Yeah,
optimistic
I
going
hope
into it,
so.
but I think we're all optimistic.
so I expect
Yeah.
them to be a little stronger having a Mercedes power, but I have heard that they've had a lot of issues integrating it into their
Oh,
designs where they've had struggles even getting the motor started.
yeah.
So
Oh,
obviously they've run laps with it now. It's so hopefully they've kind of gotten the bugs worked out of it and got the kind of the kinks worked out. But there was a time where they were really struggling
Mercedes
to get
power
the
unit
Mercedes
drink.
power unit integrated into their designs, which is classic Alpine. Honestly,
That's
that
a
just
drink.
tracks for them. Yeah, that's a drink. I knew as soon as I said
listen.
it.
Now that Christian Horner is coming back as an investor, that team's going to turn it around. And
Oh, bye, Meredith.
where the hell where did she go?
Did we
I don't know.
freeze?
All right.
All right,
Well,
let's get into it.
Audi, terrible.
You don't like
I
it?
was. Do I like it? Yes, I like it, but I'm disappointed that it was the exact same as the teaser. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Because I thought the teaser was like, okay, well, that's pretty neat, and then they dropped the livery and it's the exact same. I was expecting a little more. I love the chrome look, right? And I think the red's neat. I think it's going to look really sharp on track, but I was just expecting something different, and I think that's where my disappointment lies. Not necessarily with the design, but with just the drop.
Yeah, I'm just first of all, whatever picture the Audi PR department released was awful because it gave you the red came out
Yeah,
orange.
it was definitely off colored. It was weird.
Yeah, and also I don't like how it goes chrome and then it goes strictly in the red. Like there wasn't a way we could have merged the colors better. Like that's I'm looking at it now and it's just feel like there's something missing.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. To be honest, not really sure on that one. I mean, I really like the chrome. I think it's going to look really good. The way the light's going to hit it at night, particularly on a night race, I think it's going to look really neat. But I will agree with you. Like the harsh line between the chrome and the red,
Yeah,
it does feel like there needs to be some kind of design blend, like something to make that that line not so hard.
correct.
Yeah.
All right, so what's next? Ferrari?
I like it. I'll be honest. I think it's pretty sharp. I wish that there was just a tiny little bit of green that separated the white from that red
Yeah.
to make it more like the 1970s, like Niki Lauda.
Okay, I get
You
that.
know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like that's where they were going with it, but
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not like, if you look at that, like, remember the car that Charles wrecked at Monaco,
I
the
believe so,
Niki
yeah.
Lauda 1970s car? It had like a tiny, tiny pinstripe, a green pinstripe right around the white to red, and I feel like it did blend a little better It would have been
I
neat to see if
actually
they had,
really like it
taken that and
when
adopted it. But
F1
All right,
shows
Not too
Meredith,
what
bad.
the
what did you
car
think of
actually looks
Audi?
like. Everything that Audi put out made it look like an effing McLaren. Like what they showed in the concepts and what Formula One posted and what Nico posted. Like, I like it, but why? Again, like, what thresholds of approval did we pass in this lineup to where they're like, yes, let's post that image that looks orange and let's post it multiple times. Let's post videos about it. Let's post pictures about it. But hey, our drivers are going to post where it actually looks red. And Formula One is going to post where it actually looks red. But we're going to use totally different images that make it look orange and make it look like a McLaren. I think it's amazing. I think the images they posted were a very, very, very poor selection that made me feel very confused and let down. And I wasn't the only one. Like everybody on social media was saying the same thing. Like, wow, we got bamboozled here. And then you see the F1 images and you're like, wait a second. I got. So I actually do like it. I like a color block. So I do think the silver to the red to the black progression is good. I just don't think it's going to stand out as much on track as I was hoping for based on seeing the original concepts that came out. So I like it. I'm excited for it. I think the team kits look amazing. The Audi team kits are great.
We were just
I think they're incredible. They look great.
the team, I think, yeah, I agree with you. I think those team kits have been the best of the year so far. They look really good. Yes.
we were just talking about it. I don't like Audi's harsh lines when
You
it
like more
comes
of a
to
gradient. See, and I'm
silver to
for a
red
color
to
block.
black.
Like
I feel like
I'm okay with a
it would have
color
been nice
block,
to
but
blend those in a little better
I do
because
think
it's just like
the
one the other.
proportions are a little bit weird. It was like there was a lot of silver, that tiny bit of red, and then the black back end. So I do think that with the proportions not being like a third, I do think a gradient could have been a little bit more effective. I'm with you there. I could see that. I think the red will stand out though.
Yep. And then we were
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
anything
it
that
will.
Josh brought
has
up a
the
good point.
silver
He
to
said
it
that car's gonna look
looks
pretty kick
that
ass
anything to like
in a night race with
with
the
like a
lights hitting it.
silver or like a
Yeah, the
bright
chrome.
red
I
or
think
a
that's gonna look
bright
really good
blue, to
under
me,
lights.
those are the things that stick out really well at a night
Yeah.
race. Not like I mean, I was gonna say not like I've ever been to one. Yeah, I went to Vegas. What am I saying? But like I think the silvers just really pull those lights. I was physically there in Vegas. The drinks had been flowing, guys. Okay, take it.
All
I
right.
like
And then we
the.
were just
It
talking about
almost seems like
Ferrari
more of a
before you
throwback
hopped
to some
on.
of the
What did you
older
think?
styles where there was the red with the white across the top. I think it's a massive improvement compared to last year. Is it my favorite Ferrari livery? No, but I think it's an improvement off of last year, and it throws back to some of the old red with the white on top that I do like. In the Prince's car collection in Monaco, he has one of the old Ferraris that has the red with the white on top. So that's immediately kind of like what I thought of when I saw it. But I like it. It's an improvement. Steps in the right direction. That HP logo being right on the belly button is still weird for me. Like why on their suits did they put a giant what we have it here? Yeah, one or the other. It's like
I don't know why. Why do we need two? Why do we need two HP logos?
That confused me, but I think the Ferrari was an
I
improvement. What
know
about
we
you
got it
guys?
here, and then we got it here.
And what
Hi,
go ahead,
Beetle.
Josh.
So I like the idea that they were going with, right? As hi, buddy. I like the idea that they were going with kind of bringing back that 1970s like Niki Lauda style car. I like the direction they're going with it. I wish it had just a little bit of that green trim around the white to red to kind of blend the two, so it doesn't look like somebody said that Lewis is going to look like a scrambled egg sitting on a red skillet, and I was like, that's funny.
With this yellow helmet.
With the yellow helmet and the white top and then the red, I was like, that's gonna, yeah, I get where they're going with that. So I wish there was just a little line of green because it would match the Niki Lauda car that Charles wrecked. I don't remember what year it was, 70 something, but when Charles wrecked it at Monaco, that car had a little bit of green trim around the top, and it made it kind of blend and come together. I think it could have got the whole Italian flag deal going on. So that's the only thing I wish they had added. The HP is gaudy. I wish somebody would wise up and let them just do white like they've done in previous team sponsorship deals they've had in the past. So disappointed on the giant blue logos on everything. It sucks.
I saw another content creator talking about it on TikTok. HP has color matched their logo to the team's logo, especially when it comes to like soccer kits and all that stuff. Why can't we seem to do that
why can't
here?
it be a white circle
Why are
with
they
the
pushing
blue
the
HP?
blue so much? Like if you want to have a blue one-off,
Hey, there's somebody at my front door. I'll be right back. Hold on. Sorry.
yeah, I don't seem to get it.
It's got to be something written into that deal, like where it has to be the contract.
Yeah,
All right.
Go for it. Yeah, like you said,
It's
Josh, there has to be something within that deal where it has to stay that
it has to
blue
be
and white
like
because why not
specifically written in because it's so criticized by everybody.
yeah, why not color match it? I just don't seem to understand. Also, can we take a moment to Zen
Well,
is now a part of Ferrari?
yeah. Did
Hey,
you see Charles' helmet with like the lower half is like the Zen can kind of deal going on?
no, I did not.
Oh yeah, go peep Charles' helmet he was wearing. It's got like the lower half of like the helmet is like a Zen can.
Oh,
It's
dude, hang on.
it actually looks pretty sharp. I thought it looked pretty good. So well, I mean it's not
That
the first like nicotine brand, right, that's been in Formula One. There's probably several, but the one I can think of is like Velo, Honda,
yeah.
McLaren. I'm sure there's more I'm missing, but that's the one I recognize the most, which is an
Yeah, the one that
interesting
comes
it's interesting because Formula One had gotten away from the tobacco brands, right? And we no longer see like the Marlboros and the Camel and those kind of liveries, and those are like not allowed and had been controversial through the early 2000s. And now we're kind of getting back to like a nicotine's okay kind of situation. It's very
nicotine's
interesting.
okay, but the
Nicotine's okay.
cowboy killers will get you.
Tobacco's out,
Yeah,
but
we're good on
nicotine's cool.
nicotine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Swedish figured it out.
But yeah, I just saw the picture of the helmet you were talking
Yes.
about. Pretty kick ass.
No, my
And we
friend
got
Jessica just
is it a McDonald's Diet Coke?
It looks
my
like
mic
we've
off.
DoorDash McDonald's.
And now we can't hear a word you're saying. You better turn it. We are
It's the
Listen,
new
us.
somehow making
laptop
it through
issues.
today.
Hey, look, it's our preseason too. We'll get the bugs worked out again
Yeah,
here.
we're getting the bugs worked out. This is our shakedown in Barcelona.
The
Nope, still can't
shakedown
hear you.
video.
The wonderful hands up.
It's the I don't know what's going on. That's okay. For those who
So
don't know, we attempted to record this on Monday. Now, did we do Monday or Tuesday? We tried on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We
It's now
attempted on Tuesday.
Thursday. We had massive technical issues where we couldn't even get the program to allow us to record a video. So this is kind of par for the course.
So is that it, or is there? Oh, Haas
No,
had
surely
another livery.
Haas, great livery. Fantastic. I love the integration with the Toyota Gazoo racing. Really, really, I wouldn't be surprised to see Haas kind of become Toyota in more so function than name
Yeah,
alone, very much sooner than later. It seems like Toyota are not only pushing into motorsport in general more than they had been, but they're pushing very hard into Formula One. And this partnership with Haas is, I mean, it's massive for their technical development, but not
yeah,
only that, their driver development and their future. So I think this is going to be a bigger story over the next couple of years.
yeah. I really like it. I like the GR at the top, right there by the what is that? The air intake. It's super clean. I really
Can
like
you
this
hear
this
me?
Haas one. I don't
Yeah.
have a lot to say other than it's a badass livery.
Okay. I'm like, I have no
Meredith
idea.
says she hearts it.
New laptop.
Yep.
New
Now we can hear
laptop
you.
woes. We've had
You
technical
back?
difficulties, new
Nope.
laptop woes.
All right.
My friend just rolled by and she thought I could use an afternoon Diet Coke. So I'm like, what a treat. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best. She was like, I was headed to get MJ from school.
Good
Well,
friends.
drive by Diet Coke. Haas livery. It's my favorite. Nothing comes
Meredith
close.
Haas.
I think
Yes.
they did the best job. It was the one I was most excited about.
Whoa. What?
I
Oh, wow. I hope Cadillac comes
think
close.
that it's still on brand for them. It's still the red, the white, the black, but I just think it looks so sharp. I think it's clean lines. I love it. It was, like last week when we had Podium Pop on, I said the Haas is the one I'm most excited about. I wanted to see with Toyota Gazoo Racing being now an official title name sponsor for the team, I wanted to see how they incorporated it. And I think they did such a good job of infusing it, redesigning.
Well,
Man, she is.
maybe it wasn't a laptop she needed. She needs a new Wi-Fi router.
That's hysterical. But yeah, I was just sorry, I was just trying to see what the Toyota Gazoo's racing rally car looks like. And I don't, totally not similar. All right. What did you think of the Mercedes one?
Interesting. I like it. I actually think it's really sharp, but I'm very interested with the Adidas stripes on it. I can't think of another livery from the past or the present that includes so heavily the apparel sponsor as prominently in the delivery design and not just like a logo, right? Like Tommy Hilfiger was just a logo on the side of the car. I'm very interested to see that Adidas has been so heavily integrated. I think it's really neat. It's a really cool way to have the sponsor on the car, but it's interesting to see that's actually on there. What do you think of it?
But getting back to what we were talking about, I like the Mercedes one. I
Yeah.
like how they incorporated the Adidas stripes. I like that they didn't just throw random stripes. It kind of flows with the side of the car. It's not out of the ordinary. It's not gaudy. It's not dumb. Overall, like I wouldn't call it my favorite because I still want to hold out to see what McLaren and all the other ones have. But I'd have to put that in the top and towards the top for sure.
Any more F1 liveries that we have not
Has
discussed?
Williams come out with their livery?
Williams doesn't even have a car. We don't talk about Williams. Yeah, they didn't show up to the party.
Barely 30 pounds. They're 30 kilograms overweight.
Look, my mom said I couldn't come. When's
No, the next one is Sunday for Super Bowl.
when's Aston?
Yeah, I don't know when Aston Martin is doing theirs. They just barely got their car put together for today.
Have you seen that thing? By the way, black testing livery. Also, a ridiculous front suspension. I don't know if you've looked at it in the front wing. So the front wing technology, and I've read a bunch of stuff on Twitter that it's way over my head. But there's only two teams that have gone with the design for front wings that are similar, and it is Mercedes and Aston Martin. And Aston Martin is the only one that's running this particular suspension setup. So either Adrian Newey is absolutely cooking in the kitchen, or they're going to look really stupid. I'm going to go with the first one. Yeah. I'm going to go with that. What do we call him? Aero Daddy has cooked up something. Aero Daddy has cooked up something pretty good for him. So that car might be a problem. That would be fun. I think he deserves a shirt.
Are we about to see Lance Stroll on the podium after the?
It's going to be really hard to be a Lance Stroll fan when he's winning every race. The Lance Stroll domination era might have begun.
2026.
How sick would that be? It's like, yeah, Lewis Hamilton, sorry, you're washed. Max Verstappen, go to GT Racing, pal. This is the Lance Stroll show. He has to act like he completely hates it.
He's just super excited.
Yeah, they've spent so much money.
But I will say, I keep seeing that Mercedes has just been dominating out there. They've laid out the most laps. I think I saw like 497 laps, and every day they keep finding more and more pace. So man,
so we got to remember that the 2014 regs, right before Lewis and Mercedes started their domination era, right? That was a very power unit heavy regulation era. This is the first time we've had a power unit era in a while. It's been very ground effect heavy. So a lot of these guys have never driven a car that wasn't ground effect. So it'll be a completely new learning curve on the Formula One side of them trying to get a grasp on that kind of car. And that way, it's a different driving style. You know, there's not as much downforce. There's a lot more power. So it's going to be completely different for some of these guys. Now, I would think Lewis should grasp it pretty quickly. Fernando should be able to grasp it pretty quickly. Nico is the same way. They should be able to grasp it very quickly because they've driven that style of car before. They've had that style of driving.
And on top of it all, I know the FIA approved that loophole that Mercedes was able to find with whatever their compression ratio. You know, a lot of that goes above my head because I'm kind of dumb, but they seem to find a loophole. Yeah, thanks.
This dog day. Hey, Bubby.
Mine is down here on the floor whining because he knows it's dinner time.
Look.
No, also, I mean, the big talk going into the shakedown was Ferrari and how far behind they were, and they were one of the last ones to turn their engine on, and they seemed, they were talking crap about the Ferrari, but they've had no reliability issues going, through 4 days of it. So maybe things are, I still don't want to read too much into that because it's new everything for Lewis too. So I'm hoping, things start turning around here going into Bahrain. But yeah, those lap times look pretty bad. Yeah, we just
2 weeks. 2 weeks of testing. So the Bahrain test is the same one we've had the last couple of years. There's 2 weeks in Bahrain. They just added this additional shakedown in Spain to account for the new regulation cycle. So, well, if we don't have anything else in Formula One to talk about, we can shift on over to Endurance World, where we just had last weekend. We had the Rolex 24 in Daytona at the Daytona Motor Speedway, which is considered to be one of the pinnacle races of the endurance season. It's one of those that, while it is included in the IMSA calendar and categories and standings and points all accrue, and for IMSA, you have a lot of drivers who don't race the entirety of the IMSA series. They just race this one event, right? It's considered to be, it's like Le Mans. It's one of the crown jewels. So we had a very eventful race. Had crash on lap 1 in the LMP2 category. Carnage, which here's something I learned, did not know. that the bronze drivers, which are like the CEOs and the people with more money than sense, and they can buy their way into a racing seat, they get the opportunity to race in these categories with money and, you know, a little bit of talent. They have to qualify the car as well as race the first stint in LMP2. So did not know that. So every driver in the LMP2 car for the first lap was a paid driver. Was a guy so there was guys in there that were like in their 50s and 60s and 70s. Well, I don't know about 70s, 50s and 60s. So pretty neat, little different little deal there. And like I said, they qualify the car too. I know. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, I wish I could race an LMP2 car. That'd be fun.
Listen, maybe if we pull our money together, we might be able to make it like 100 feet in driving.
I'd take it. So yeah, a little bit of wrecking, a little bit of carnage there at the beginning. And then, you know, some minor incidents throughout. It was pretty tame. There was a lot of good racing. It really just looked like the Porsche Penske's, the 6 and 7 car, were significantly faster than the rest of the prototype field. They just looked so much more squared away. They even had some damage on the 6 car and kind of lost a lot of time. Ended up going to the garage, getting repairs done, and then still managing to get back on the lead lap and then get into the lead a couple times throughout the rest of the race. Nuts. It's nuts. Complete domination from a Penske Porsche. But the big talking point, a three-peat, big deal. But the big talking point was the very long full course caution because of the fog. So around 1:30, 1 a.m. Eastern time, they had a bunch of fog roll in, and it became too dangerous to race. And they had it was like 5 hours under safety car where they just and you can't really pit because you'll lose so many positions, and so they couldn't do a driver swap. So like Connor Zilic, for example, was stuck and he did like 4 hours of this full course caution, and he said that he was just struggling to like stay awake and like, you know, keep his mind right following the safety car because they're not driving at 20 miles an hour. They're doing it's like 75% of racing speed and trying to, you know, they can't see, it's in the fog. It was just a mess. So very interesting. Yeah, imagine being on a road trip by yourself for 5 hours, 4 hours with no radio, no music. You're stuffed in a seat and can't move, can't stretch out, and you're driving 150 miles an hour. Yeah, terrible. So 4 hours and some change on some full course caution. Finally get back under green just before dawn breaks, and I mean, it was a pretty clean restart and had not a whole lot of events going into the end until the last hour, where, you know, it usually starts to get pretty spicy, where guys are really fighting for position. We had battles in every category up and down the field at one point or another. Porsche Penske holds on to win, beats out the Cadillac with maybe a little bit of a spicy move there. Felipe Nasser closing the door down on the caddy to lock it out. So I thought that was you know, if that's Formula One, that's a penalty move. So it's definitely a new. There's a lot more grace, I will say, and endurance. We had the contact in the what was it, the GTD Pro class where they had actual contact right at like on the start finish straight. Yeah, crazy save, and then he not only makes a save but closes the door on the guy and locks it out holds the position to basically win the race on right there. So, I mean, yeah, great racing up and down the field. I was impressed with the GT racing. I was kind of going into it expecting more to be invested in, you know, the GTD, the hypercar and LMP2 class. But I really decided to kind of stick to one or two teams in the GTD and GTD Pro classes and follow them. And that kind of brought me a little closer into that category. And the racing is really, really good in those categories. It's very close. If you looked at the spread in the two top classes, there was a lot more like there was 45 seconds to a minute sometimes in gap from the leader. In GT racing, there was sometimes where it was the top 10 were all within 3 seconds. And it was very close racing. Yeah. So I will say here's my criticism, because of course got to have one at some point in time. So the first hour and the last hour and some change were broadcast on NBC. And during those two time slots, I felt like there were entirely too many commercial breaks that completely cut away from the racing. Because there would be times where you were battling within a quarter second of the lead, like wheel to wheel battles, and they're cutting away to a commercial, and that hurt my feelings, to be honest. Yeah. So you could definitely tell a difference once it got off of like the national broadcast. Once it went to strictly the Peacock, it was not as frequent. But every other sporting event that I watch nowadays, it seems like they do like a split screen deal where the ads come up and like the game or whatever's still happening on one side, and there's a like, why not go split screen with the ads and like let me watch the racing, but like show me the ad on the other side if that's what you want to do. But yeah, and that's fine as long as I can see what's going on still. Great, but I felt like I was getting to the point where I was getting frustrated because it was so frequent. It was like every 20 minutes maybe, and maybe it was not quite that many, but it was definitely way more than I was comfortable sitting there and waiting through. So that would be my critique. If there was, maybe there is, because I know there's an IMSA TV option, so I don't know if that's like unmolested coverage. Great. I just need to look into that. What?
My goodness.
That's grammatically correct. Thank you. I feel like it was appropriate.
Hey, you know what? Fuck it.
That is a good vocabulary word. Thank you. Yeah. Awesome. So I don't know if IMSA TV has that option, but I would love to, if it does. Yeah. Cause I saw, I didn't know it was a thing until I saw it on the schedule. So when you go onto IMSA's website and you pull up like their schedule of events, it shows you what the broadcast is going to be. And there was a couple different options. It was like NBC, Peacock, and then it was like IMSA TV. Obviously WEC TV has a paid option. So I don't know if it's similar to that. I'd like to know. Okay. So it's probably not available in the United States because of the blackout rate. I hate the FC. They're all in the Americas. All right, well, I guess I got to invest in a VPN because I hated sitting there and watching. I feel like I missed, especially like sure, like the race start, like all right, like you kind of wade through that first hour and you're like, all right, I got 23 more. I didn't miss that much. Like that last hour, like there's a lot of really good stuff going on. I didn't really want to miss any of it. And yeah, I would like look at the timings. I would look at the timings and I'm like, okay, this guy's getting closer. You know, he's breaking that 1 second marker. I'm like, all right, I got to sit down and watch the rest of this. So yeah, I'm with you. I was very, very excited to not only sit there and watch it, but at the end of it, I was like withdrawing. I was like, I sat here for 20 hours and watched this stuff. Like, I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? I was like, dang it. I really, really liked this and like how much was involved in it. And I was like, all right, this is going to be a fun season. It's a good time to get into it, you know, because it's right at the beginning of the season. Perfect timing to really get invested in it. So if you have not picked it up, they're racing again in March in Sebring, which is another classic American track in Florida. Yeah. And it's very high speed. And so a lot of the coverage was talking about where these teams are, you know, a lot of the beginning couple weeks of the Rolex, there's the Roar before the Rolex, the Roar before 24. Sorry, want to get the branding right. And it's basically weeks of testing. And so they get to test at Daytona, but they don't really get into their high speed testing until they go to Sebring. So I thought that was really interesting. I didn't realize Sebring was like as high speed. I would have thought Daytona with the banking would have been faster. Yeah, you know. So very interesting. I'm curious to see how that kind of plays out because they were talking specifically about the Valkyrie and how that was going to be like the 1 year mark for the Valkyrie team in the sport. And it sounds so damn good.
IndyCar and then NASCAR. Or IndyCar and then Formula 1. So now IMSA is only in the US, right?
North American. It's the North American
And
Endurance.
WEC is all European and the rest of them?
Nope, WEC is worldwide. So there's a lot of regional, right? So like ELMS and IMSA are like the like counterparts for like Europe would be ELMS, and then IMSA would be the North Americas, and then there's a Asian Le Mans series.
So then does Le Mans fall under, what is Le Mans, the 24-hour Le Mans fall under? So do any of these cars that raced at Daytona 24, will they be doing the race at Le Mans?
There are some of these teams that do both IMSA and WEC, and some of these drivers will do ELMS. Because I mean, there's not a ton of events, right? Like if you're a racing driver, you're trying to find any seat to make some money and to get your name out there. You can race in a lot of these events and not have any conflicting schedules. So some of these guys will be racing in a lot. You know, they may race in one category in one side of things. They may race in another category on the other side of things.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't realize like the progression either. They were talking about like a lot of your young kids that are trying to make a name for themselves. They go to LMP too, and I would have thought it started in GT, but they really start in like the regional GT stuff, and then a lot of times they get picked up to go race LMP too, and then from there they go to the prototype or the hypercar class, and then a lot of times they go back to GT racing once they start aging out or lose a seat or whatever. So it's so weird. No, I hadn't either. I sat there and was just listening to the announcers talk about just kind of like some of these guys and like how their career projections have been. And it's whole different world. Like there's so much to learn, and I'm so stoked to be kind of into it now at this point. So I have the whole year to like watch it. Yeah, absolutely. The next race is March 18th to 21st. The 12 hours. Sebring. It's
Sebring.
12 hours. And then what I was going to look at, we have WEC in the same, we have WEC at the same weekend as well. Yeah, March 28th, it's Qatar. It's so some of these WEC races don't have, I'm sorry, this is the only one. This one only has a kilometer amount. It's not a time amount. It's a how many kilometers. It's an 1812 kilometers. So I guess first one day, with the Logan Sargent. Speaking of Logan Sargent, for the old news, Ford's breaking into the hypercar. I think we talked about that a little bit last week.
Yeah, we did.
But how fun is that for Logan to be back in the top? I hope he does well. Paul, you got anything NASCAR, IndyCar you got going on over there?
Nope. IndyCar started their media tour in Indianapolis this week. We're still waiting to hear to see what Dale Coyne is going to do. Dale Coyne Racing, they have one vacancy. All signs are pointing to Roman Grosjean. I can't pronounce that name to save my life. Yeah, all signs are pointing to him coming back. But I mean, Connor Daly is just Connor Daly. He's just a personality that you need on track. But I hate that this sport as a whole has turned into a pay to play. So, which really sucks.
It's motorsport. All motorsports pay to play, pal.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why I'm not driving a car. How cool would it be if I had some money and I could go drive? But I don't.
Yeah, no,
So I got to talk about it
completely,
instead.
I completely understand it. So, we're still waiting to hear back to hear what Dale Coyne's going to do. They need to just make an announcement right away, but everything seems to be in limbo there. Prima is coming out. They're not going to be a part of the first 4 races. That whole team is
Oh,
up in the air. They
really?
don't really know what the hell
Did they
is
lose
going on.
funding?
But the thing
Really?
is that a lot of these teams have been poaching engineers and mechanics from the Prima
Well,
team. So
I could see why.
even if by race 5 the team comes together, Callum Ilott doesn't have an engineer because his engineer went to some other team. So it's like they're trying to
And they'll
really
find somebody. It just may not be the caliber of engineer
sure
they want.
they might call you or Meredith to engineer that race because they're just going to be,
My phone's on
you know,
ring. My ringer's
yeah.
on. Hit me up.
So
I,
there's, hey, you're just gonna be on the radio going, "Hey, Caleb, I don't know what these numbers mean, but you're doing a great job, bud. Just keep hammering in.
yeah.
I don't know what any of these things mean, but be you." And then I have been hearing rumors that Colton Herta is going to try to run the Indianapolis 500. There is that gap in the schedule for F2, and realistically, if he does well in F2 and moves up to an F1 seat, this might be the only window that he has to run the Indy 500. So everything's looking like he's going to be a part of the part of that. Yeah. So other than that, just kind of waiting to see what happens.
Well,
No. But what were you going to ask, Josh?
I was going to ask if what's the Formula One race on the Indy 500? Is it Monaco as well? Still? It was last year, I think.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Montreal.
Okay. So my only question would be if he's not racing in F2, he may still have to perform simulator duties for Cadillac.
Yeah, but with it being an American team, I'm sure they're not going to have an issue with him running the Indy 500.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, just trying to get everything squared away with IndyCar. That is a pretty kick-ass.
I did see this. I'm sorry, I did see this.
The new commercial for Paddle came out, the Garbage Man. I feel like the whole Garbage Man thing kind of missed the mark for me a little bit.
Kind of awkward.
But I didn't really care for last year's commercials. I don't know. I feel like this one was a little more Hollywood than last year's commercial. Oh, the other rumor that I heard about is that I guess this year is a 200th year of America, something like that. I don't really keep up with that sort of stuff. And they are working to get a race this year in Washington, D.C. And they're trying to get that figured out how it's going to work. It's turned into a very political thing now, and naturally as it would DC, because I guess within the Capitol Circle or the Capitol Square in DC, you can't have advertisement, and there would have to be a lot of advertisement for this race. They're blaming on they're saying Chuck Schumer isn't wanting to get a part of it. So not to get political and turn this into a political thing, but those are the rumors that they're going to try to figure out if they can do an IndyCar race in nation's capital.
Yeah, I'll believe when I say it. There's better places. Bring it to New York or Chicago.
I mean, I get the concept of wanting to travel it and bring it to new cities. I don't know how they're going to be able to plan all that
It's
in the
so much.
next few months. There's so much logistics that go behind it.
Yeah.
And then on top of it all, you're adding the political sphere to it.
Pato, the whole thing last year. Yeah, not a good look. I
Yeah,
think they
so
should, if they're going to choose a city, they should choose one that could be sustainable for future races, not just a one-off. Like, who cares? It's DC. Like, whatever. It's kind of a shithole anyway. Yeah. How about we just
yeah,
do
no,
Chicago or New York, and we can do it every year, and it's really neat.
yeah. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, New York's
other
great.
than
My
that,
favorite.
that's kind of it on the IndyCar news. I would just kind of they'll start testing here in Phoenix in the next few weeks to get ready for the season, and we're off to it.
Good deal. Well,
Literally and figuratively. Yeah, that whole Bowman Gray thing is going to be interesting because there's a lot of snow in the forecast. So we might I don't know if we're going to have NASCARs or snowmobiles, but something is going to go
nice. Well, I think we've about covered what we got for you. It sounds like go
just
Badgers. Go
one
Badgers.
last time for the
They're probably like
camera so everybody
got
sees it. Yeah.
a losing record in basketball right now or something going on. So, go Badgers.
Got
Hope
it. They got a pretty decent record in basketball. I don't really keep up with it. I know their women's hockey team is kick ass.
All right. Well,
I
go
will say
women's
that.
Badgers hockey, I guess.
A lot of
Go
those gals are
sports.
going to play for the Olympic team, so good
Hey,
for
that's
them.
cool. I will give them that. Go Olympics. We've got that coming up. I love the Olympics. Such a fun time. I get to watch sports I didn't know exist until the week of, and I forget about them until the next 4 years. So great
Curling,
times.
I get to watch curling that I never cared about for 4 years.
We get real big into figure skating over here.
Well, that's dumb. I really get into curling and bobsledding and like luging.
Yeah, the
That's just super cool.
skeleton and like the team loot. Yeah. I'm in on
And the
that.
Jamaican team qualified this year, so we're gonna have Jamaica in their bobsledding team. So boom.
Yeah, so super excited about the Olympics coming up. We'll sprinkle that in the next couple episodes while we got some breaks in the motorsport season, but we will do our best to bring you whatever we can for the upcoming news that we are sure to see. We'll be sure to try to work out the technical kinks before we get too deep into this.
Meredith is going to send back that laptop and just use her iPad.
iPad looks great. I don't know if that Wi-Fi receiver in that computer is real good. This is a premium product. It's nice. Perfect. All right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. We'll be back next week. We'll talk
over
some more stuff. I'm sure Paul will be back, happy to be back in the driver's seat for this one. He likes to have the power and control because we can't make fun of him as much. So it's, that's his thing. He is good at it.
Yeah.
He is good at it.
I dictate what's going to happen. And I might have another stupid tattoo. You never know.
That probably is going to happen. So yeah, great.
I'm logging off. Screw
All
this
right,
show.
friends. Well, thanks for joining us.
Later, guys.
Enjoy the snow. We'll see you guys later. Bye.